Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin. Thanks for joining me today to look at some fun coins. And as always, we enjoy the ancient of days around here. So anytime you can get some older coins in and talk about them, it's a good time. We're going to look mostly at the aesthetic on these guys, talk a little bit about them. I'm not going to focus as much on the history, but just enjoy the show because there's nothing quite like looking at ancients. And the denarii was one of the most common coins circulating back in ancient Rome. These guys are struck in silver. This is L. Ant Gregulus, circa 136 BC, denarius. VF with a strong strike and surface quality. The obverse is a representation of Rome. That's what OBV is obverse, RV is reverse. Jupiter in the quadriga. The quadriga is those four horses. I don't know if they ever actually represented the four horsemen of the apocalypse. There we go. So this guy is not too expensive. That guy's about $175. I'll try to throw some values out here as I can. Now you're going to see the difference in what it looks like when it's supposed to be really a high-grade coin and actually have original mint luster on it. This one is fun because of the condition. The mint luster on there is really nice. TRIO, Trio, right on there. And we've got some fun horseback action here. And quite a cool coin on this guy. Overall, you've got a nice centering. One of the things about those Roman coins is they can get pretty off-center, especially the Roman Republic coins. This is from a similar time period as the first one is. Dioscuri on horseback on the back of that. Obverse has Rome, same obverse design. Mint state 5555. That's probably going to be a $500, pardon me, like a $700 type coin. There. I'm just going to talk about prices and get them all mixed up. Just trying to check my notes here, but the 5.5 coins seem to be pretty popular. All right, and let's see what we got going on here. Some more Roman Republic denarius, and you start to see there is a common theme here. A lot of the coins had a very similar look and feel to them. Q. Curtius M. Silenus denarius, 116 to 115 BC with Roma and Jupiter. So this design is almost the same as this design here. A little bit older on the one on the left, a little bit newer on the one on the right. Also VF with a strike of 4 and a surface of 5. This one is about $150 type coin on that guy. Keep going here. This is kind of a cool one here. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, so this one I kind of like the toning on a little bit. Now they're only calling this coin a VF, which you know, maybe it is. Maybe you got a little bit more wear there, but I would say that usually when you get toning like that, it's because you have some remnant of luster. I will say that I think there is a little bit of luster on this coin still. So I'd probably say it's a little bit higher grade than that. But also, Julius L.F. Caesar, 103 BC, obverse Mars, and reverse Venus in Cupid Biga. So they call it a choice VF with a 4545. So what's fun about this is you've got the Cupid shuffle going on in the background. Venus being pulled actually by a pair of Cupids. So if you weren't sure what that was, that is the Cupid shuffle there. But really a cool coin. That's probably about a $500 coin on that guy. Okay, next up we have another coin with a nice little bit of toning to it. Nice eye appeal. AU, they actually gave this coin a star. So for overall eye appeal. C. Allius Bala, circa 92 BC. Obverse female head, possibly Diana. And here we go again with more horses and chariots on the back. Going back to Cali. But similar to the previous coin, which had a star on it with the overall look and eye appeal, even though this one they're calling an AU 5555, and Diana in the Biga with stags pulling them. Actually, did I just say horses? Oh yeah, we got reindeers. Look at those. Those horses have horns. Maybe it's a mythical creature like a stag. It could be that. Another coin that's probably going to be in that $400 or $500 range with the stars upon thars. That's kind of a neat piece. Next up is an interesting denomination. This is a silver double Victoriatus. It actually weighs close to 6 grams. Most of these guys are going to weigh that 3.9 gram range on most all of your. If you look, what's fun, these all have the gram weight on them. So that's kind of cool. Thessalonian League. This has Zeus on it. On the obverse. This is a choice VF. Once again, like that other choice VF we saw, it has a pretty good look to it overall just for a VF. All the very fine coins actually have had a pretty nice look to them. Good centering. Let me see here. Strong portrait overall. Good looking planchet. And then we've got Athena there with a spear up and shield. VF 4535. Trying to find my notes. I think that's about 350 on that guy. One of these days I'll make notes that make sense. But until then, thanks for joining me. All right, next up we have Trajan. And of course, Trajan, we see his denarii quite frequently. And, you know, these are a little bit smaller size, 3.3 grams on this guy. NGC is calling this an XF 5555 again. A reverse genius bonus eventus. That one's kind of interesting. I'd have to look up and see what the reference is there. That's a very specific reference. You know, and a lot of coins that were struck back then were struck as commemoratives. So this guy is probably about 150 bucks or so on that guy. So there was a time when I was collecting only female Roman coins, and so I do have a few of them still kicking around, kind of my favorite things. This is Faustina Jr. And this one does not have the full grade with the VF and XF. Faustina here is there's a peacock strutting on here down in the center, down center stage. And this is from something called the Golden Age Horde. I'm not as familiar with those, but very cool piece. Really strong looking surface quality. Strike might be a little bit weak. Posthumous issue, so it was issued after she was dead. I actually think that is supposed to be a funeral box of sorts. And you've got the bird is the word right below it. Faustina is probably about 175 bucks or so. Next up, we have Caracalla, who I always say with some funny accent. I don't know why Caracalla wants to come out that way whenever I say it. But once again, the motifs on the back of these are always very interesting. So on this piece here, we have this is, like I said before, a lot of the coins are struck as somewhat of a commemorative. So the emperor holding victory and a captive seated left, STD is seated. This coin is probably south of $100, but you know, as far as the overall depiction of something goes, I always like it when you've got the standing victory, and then the slaves or the whoever that captures the captives underneath it. And so victory, of course, is actually Nike, or Mercury is victory. They're all kind of the same thing. So the funny thing is, on this coin, I keep seeing, every time I look at it, I see the Energizer Bunny that he's holding. But actually, the things that looks like floppy ears going forward, those are actually wings going backwards. And there's right to the left of the P here, there's actually a head. And so the statue is facing the emperor. Just so you know. All right, here's a Philip I double denarius. Choice extra fine. And I think this guy is also going to be, I think this guy's about $125, $150, but really a very strong looking piece overall. And on that one, it looks like his staff is a caduceus. On that, it looks like it's got something at the top that's woven, but maybe not on that piece. Looks like a priest in garbs, like a lot of stuff going on there. You saw that last coin, of course, the emperor's there with his shirt off, showing off his abs. And then, but this one, you've got a lot of robe action going on here on that piece. And we actually have a couple of those. I don't know if they're the same design here. Yeah, let's see if we can get a closer look at this. Oh, different design. Okay, so there's justice. And so a lot of times, or pardon me, the term would not be justice, it would be equality. And you can actually start to make out some of the words on there sometimes. But also, there are that appears to be the cornucopia in the left hand, with the scales in the right hand on that piece. Here's a nicer example. This one's going to be a little bit more. This is actually a mint state example on this guy. And so probably a couple $100 on this guy, a little bit better. This is Philip I. And this one's really got a nice strike to it. You can start to make out the lettering. You have to really learn how the lettering works on these, because a lot of them become very flatly struck. And so the lettering on here is already kind of fat, the way it's carved in. And so once you get used to how the lettering looks, you can start to distinguish. So like on this, it's easier to see the PHIL, right? IP, Philippus, AUG. See, this is an AUG at the end. See, it's hard to tell. If you just saw this lettering at the end, you wouldn't really know. But you get used to what the A is going to look like and the U is going to look like. AUG. And here we go again on the back. There's the same portrait in a higher grade, or a similar portrait in the higher grade. This is not the same portrait. This is actually Equitus. Maybe it is the same. Similar. All right, and last but not least, one more double denarius, Gordian III. In VF, there's a young-looking man. Actually, I mean, really nice strike. It's they're calling this a choice VF, but once again, I always like it when you can really make out the lettering. There's the IMP, CAES. So I'm laughing because all this just suddenly turned into the eye test of the ophthalmologist. Gordianus AUG. Let's see who's on the back here. And this is Virtuous, right? VIRTUS, Virtus AUG. And possibly that would be an olive branch. Not sure which leaf he would be holding on to there. but they had all kinds of different deities that represented values like virtue, equality, peace, victory, whatever the different emblem is that they wanted to symbolize, they had those. And so you see a lot of that on the Roman coins. All right, guys, fun stuff. This last guy is also probably less than $100 on that guy. Gordian III, not a rare fellow, but really a pretty coin for VF. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.